My dear brothers and sisters, let me ask you something sincerely. Have you realized how quickly the days of Ramadan are passing? It feels like only yesterday we were welcoming this blessed month with excitement and hope. The mosques were full, hearts were soft, and many of us were standing in prayer late into the night with tears in our eyes. But now look around. For many people, that early excitement has already started to fade. Some have quietly returned to their old habits and routines. The nights are not as lively as they were at the beginning, and fewer people are standing in prayer. This raises a very serious question for every one of us. What if Ramadan comes and goes, yet our lives remain exactly the same? What if this month of mercy passes by, but we still carry the same sins, the same worries, and the same distance from Allah? My dear brothers and sisters, many people today are struggling in ways we cannot see. Somewhere, a patient lies in a hospital bed, hoping for healing. Somewhere, a parent worries about how to provide food for their children. Somewhere, a family is facing conflict and heartbreak behind closed doors. And in moments like these, every believer begins to wonder, is there something I can do that brings the help and mercy of Allah into my life? What if I told you that there is a powerful dua that many scholars encourage believers to recite during Ramadan? A supplication that begins by calling upon Allah using 4 of His beautiful names. A dua that many people recite after their obligatory prayers throughout this blessed month. This dua asks Allah for mercy, forgiveness, protection and salvation. But before we look at the full supplication, we must understand something very important. When a servant sincerely calls upon Allah, that call is never ignored. Let me ask you something from the heart. How many people pray every day, yet their hearts still feel heavy with worry? How many people work tirelessly, yet their provision still feels limited? How many homes appear peaceful from the outside, while inside there is stress, fear and sleepless nights? Subhanallah. We live in a time where technology has advanced more than ever before, yet many hearts feel emptier than ever. People spend hours scrolling on their phones, watching endless content, reading troubling news about wars, crises, rising costs, and uncertainty everywhere. Slowly, fear enters the heart. Fear about the future. Fear about finances. Fear about the safety of our loved ones. Sometimes a believer sits quietly at night and whispers a simple prayer, Ya Allah, I don't know what to do anymore. Please help me. My dear brothers and sisters, this is exactly why Allah gave us dua. Dua is not just a set of words we repeat. Dua is the connection between a weak servant and the Lord who controls the entire universe. And one of the most powerful ways to make dua is by calling upon Allah through His beautiful names. When you call upon Allah as Allah, you are calling the one who is higher than every problem you face. When you call upon Him as Al-Azim, you are calling the one whose greatness has no limits. When you call upon Him as Al-Ghafur, you are calling the one who forgives again and again. And when you call upon Him as Ar-Rahim, you are calling the one whose mercy surrounds everything. This is how the beautiful Ramadan dua begins, by remembering these powerful names of Allah. But the rest of the supplication carries an even deeper meaning. It reminds us why Ramadan itself is such a special and honored month. Brothers and sisters, listen carefully. Many believers recite this dua after their obligatory prayers during Ramadan. And when you hear these words, do not just repeat them, feel them in your heart. The dua begins by calling upon Allah, O Most High, O Most Great, O Most Forgiving, O Most Merciful. You are the magnificent Lord. There is no one equal to you. You are the one who hears everything and sees everything. Think about that for a moment. The one you are calling upon sees every tear you shed. He hears every quiet prayer whispered in the darkness. He knows the pain that you have never told anyone about. Then the dua reminds us of the greatness of Ramadan. It is the month that Allah has honored and elevated above all other months. It is the month in which the Quran was revealed, a guidance for humanity and clear proof of truth. And within this blessed month lies the most powerful night of the entire year, the night of decree, a night that is better than 1,000 months. Imagine that, a single night worth more than 80 years of worship. Finally, the servant ends this dua with the most important request any human being could ever make. O Lord of endless generosity, grant me freedom from the hellfire. Include me among those whom you save, and admit me into paradise through your mercy, O most merciful of those who show mercy. My dear brothers and sisters, this is not just a dua. This is a servant standing before Allah, asking for the greatest success that a human being can ever achieve, salvation from the fire and entry into Jannah. Think about the moments in life when we feel completely helpless. A father worrying about how to provide for his family. A mother silently fearing for the safety of her children. A young person uncertain about their future. Sometimes the heart becomes tired, but the believer has something powerful that the rest of the world often forgets. The believer has dua. When a believer raises their hands and calls upon Allah, They are calling upon the one who controls everything, the one who controls your provision, the one who controls your health, the one who controls your family and your future. Subhanallah. Sometimes Allah changes a person's entire life, not through years of effort, but through one sincere dua. Many people have experienced sudden changes in their lives. A person struggling financially suddenly finds new opportunities opening before them. A sick person receives healing. A home filled with tension becomes filled with peace. The secret behind many of these changes is simple. They turn back to Allah. When Allah places barakah in something, even a small amount becomes enough. A small income becomes sufficient. A modest home becomes peaceful. A tired heart becomes calm again. And Ramadan is the time when the mercy of Allah is closest. Every night people are forgiven. Every night destinies are written. And somewhere in these final nights is the night that can change everything. The blessed night of decree. Imagine making this dua after every prayer, and one of those prayers happens to fall on that powerful night. A single sincere supplication could become more valuable than 1,000 months of worship. My dear brothers and sisters, Ramadan is slowly leaving us. The nights of mercy, the moments when duas are accepted, the days when sins are forgiven, they are slipping away. And the painful reality is this: many people who were with us last Ramadan are no longer here today. Their places in the mosque are empty. Their voices are silent. Their time has ended. One day, our time will come as well. That is why sincere believers treat the final days of Ramadan very differently. They do not slow down in their worship, they increase their efforts, because they know this Ramadan might be their last. So before this blessed month leaves, take something powerful with you. From your very next prayer, sit for a moment after finishing. Raise your hands and call upon Allah with sincerity. Ask Him to forgive your sins. Ask Him to place barakah in your provision. Ask Him to protect your family. Ask Him to grant you peace, health and guidance. Because sometimes the moment that changes a person's destiny forever is just one sincere dua. And imagine standing before Allah on the day of judgment and discovering that the reason you were forgiven was a small dua you made quietly after a prayer during the last days of Ramadan.